All right, here goes. What? Hey there, and welcome back to Golf Karting TV. My name is Matt with Converted Carts. Excited to have a great episode today. This is a brand spotlight. We're focusing on a brand called Revii, R-E-V-I-I, by Joyride. And this thing is way cool. So let's jump into this thing and talk with Rob from Joyride. Rob, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about Joyride and what you're doing, and then we'll jump into a demo of this thing.
Yeah, so Matt, thanks for having me with you today. So my name is Rob McPherson. I'm with Joyride. Joyride is a connected vehicle technology company that powered by industry leaders like Yamaha. We operate in over 250 markets globally, and our mission is to make vehicles smart, connected, keyless, trackable, and rentable. So what we're going to talk about today is the Revii platform, which is Joyride's first independent brand that is geared toward making it completely seamless for any golf cart operations company to rent golf carts in a completely automated way. So um, it's very easy to set up, as we'll see. And it's kind of your fastest path to rental revenue, and really easy fleet management.
Cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to step out and go to my cart and go through a demo of this thing, and then we'll be back to kind of talk through a little bit about how it all worked. I am here in the garage. I'm sitting in my cart. I don't have my key plugged in. Tell me what you're going to do and what exactly how this process is going to work.
All right. So now for the magic. So I'm here in Virginia. You're in Ohio. I've got your vehicle connected up to the Revii app on my phone, and I'm going to be able to remotely start it from my location. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan a QR code, which could be on the windshield of your cart. And I'm going to scan that with my phone, and then I'm going to hit unlock with the app, and I'm going to hit ride. And now this is going to remotely start your cart. Notice no hands for Matt.
That's crazy. There it is.
Here we go. So now
all done. I got no key. That's fantastic.
So now the cart's yours. You can rent it, ride it as long as you want, however it's configured. Right. And now I'm going to hit slide to end ride, and then now it's going to turn off the cart.
That is awesome. Rob, that was so cool. I mean, to be sitting there and hands-free, not touch anything from, hundreds of miles away, you were able to start the cart and how that all works. So very cool for sure. Why don't you tell me a little bit about how the technology works and, what exactly was happening when we just went through that?
Yeah, so let's start with the hardware component. So Joyride builds an IoT device. So this is our IoT here, roughly the size, essentially a cell phone for the golf cart. And this hooks into both the battery for power and then the ignition line to be able to kind of control the keys. And then we can also control communicate with the CAN if the cart supports that as well. So you've got kind of the three wires that plug in, and then we send you connectors for your ignition. So you've got spade connectors to just plug up to the ignition. So that kind of creates the core of the technology here. So now the cart is connected to the internet, and anybody with one of our mobile apps has the ability to remotely control the cart. So this kind of opens up all these new applications for what people can do from both a fleet management and a rental management perspective.
When you talk about, kind of how this is best used, one of the examples that I can think of, and you just kind of mentioned it, is, a dealer that's handling a rental fleet of sorts, right? So you've got these things that potentially I could be, let's just make up a city. I'm in Charleston, South Carolina, and I've got a golf cart dealership, and I can leave some carts, 2 or 3 carts down at the beach or something like that, and they're accessible. So when you have that app on your phone, it's kind of like you see around town, and if you live in a bigger city or something like that, where you can jump on a scooter or whatever and kind of ride it around town, that type of a deal. Is that what I'm understanding that correctly?
Exactly. So Revii has built the mobile app here, which is you can download in the App Store or the Android store. And Revi's built as an open platform for any dealer to put their rental fleet on the app. And the goal is really just to help dealers streamline their rental activities, because every dealer needs to have rentals because it's a great way to introduce um, new customers to the carts, but it's also a way, um, really during the hot seasons to make like high margin dollars. Now, typically a rental fleet, whether that's pickup or whether that's drop off, it's usually like between a 10 and 20% margin business. But if with this new world of connected carts, what this now enables is anybody that's running carts can put carts in places where people already are, and kind of the drive off, remote contactless rentals. So the
Right,
example,
without a human, right? So the idea is that you don't have to staff it, which is a big part of your overhead in such a situation, right?
exactly. So in Charleston, the example is like you could rent lots or garages to keep carts at spread around the city. You could partner with hotels and resorts to have carts there. Airbnb owners and communities, resort communities. You could start to grow your network, and everybody knows where the carts are through the mobile app, and then all of your kind of traditional processes, which are always usually kind of cumbersome, like the waivers and the ID checks and kind of the pre-ride checklist, the pre-authorization of the credit card, the key exchange, all that can now happen just through the phone. So
Right.
it's just streamlining your business there, opening up new opportunities to kind of spread your inventory around town. And then what that does really is it changes the rental margins from your kind of 10-20% typical, which is what you're getting when you're dropping carts off and picking them up and all that kind of heavy out logistics work, to go into closer to a 50% margin business, which is really cool.
Yeah. So then from the perspective of dealer, so again, let's say I've got a fleet of 10 rentals that I'm typically, in and out of the store from, at any given time. How then do I manage that process? I'm assuming there's a kind of a back end tool on the computer from a operational perspective that I'm able to track things. I can turn things off if something, somebody didn't pay something, whatever, any sort of kind of security measures. How is all that stuff kind of managed on the back end for the dealer?
Yeah, so Joyride has grown up. It's been around since 2014, and Joyride's really cut its teeth in helping rental operators manage hundreds and thousands of electric vehicles, mostly traditionally in the electric bike and electric scooter space. But through that work, it's created really robust tools on the back end, which have all been brought to Revii. So if you own a fleet of, say, 10 carts, you have the full kind of, map of where your assets are, what is the state of every vehicle. Um, you've got the ability to geofence them and put them in specific fleets.
Hmm.
And then you've got all the kind of traditional fleet management tools like ticketing and making sure that um, all the carts are charged, if there's routine maintenance, all of that can be tracked within the back end as well.
Got it. Are you able to check the charge of each of the individual cart itself, like to make sure that things are charged and up that way? Is there certain
Yeah,
ways that have to do that?
that's the big struggle with electric vehicle rentals is you want the ability to rent anything to anybody at any time, but you have to very carefully manage uh, your charging to set the right expectations of like, well,
Right.
is this vehicle ready to go for a 4 hour rental or whatever it is? Um, and that's where Revii gets kind of helps with a little bit of self service in that regard, because people can start making decisions on their own. Like, okay, well, I want to rent this vehicle to get to the beach, and I see the cart has 63% charge left, or X amount of range, and then they're like, okay, yeah, that's fine. So
Gotcha.
it helps kind of smooth that out. We charge by two ways. One is we can measure the voltage of the battery within the cart to get kind of within an estimated range, and we can do that for any cart. And then certain vehicles where we have a CAN connection, we can actually get down to the single percentage and kind of know the
Hmm.
exact range.
So if somebody's questioning and saying, "Hey, this is a brand new product. I'm not quite sure if I'm ready or to trust it or whatever." Obviously, Joyride has some backing and established credibility there. So tell me a little bit about that and what would make a dealer feel comfortable around jumping into something like this.
Yeah. So like I said, Joyride works with 250 fleet operators across the world. So we've got kind of the ability to support anything. We're launching the Revii product through dealer networks because they have the relationships with with customers both on the direct rental side, but then also what this enables too is if a dealer is going to sell a cart to, say, a second homeowner or somebody that owns an Airbnb, we want that dealer to have the confidence to tell that person, like, hey, this vehicle that you're buying from us actually has the ability to generate cash for you. Because a lot of people have their carts, and it kind of, maybe it comes with an Airbnb, or it's, you can let friends use it or however you want when you're not.
Right.
But now this kind of formalizes that process and really lets people rent it out and kind of gain income on it. So we want dealers to feel kind of confident through our support there that the dealer, it's easy for them to install the technology on all the carts or low speed vehicles, and then they can really use it as a selling point.
Got it. So in that case, the way that I think you just described it is basically the dealer is the one who's kind of installing it, putting it in place, and then kind of, if it will, maybe an upsell, right, to somebody in that situation. But then the owner of that property, whether it's a hotel resort or whatever, or whether it's an Airbnb owner, that person then is the one who connects their own account to be able to make money off of that
Yeah,
their
exactly.
platform directly themselves as an individual, or as a hotel that you may have sold to as a dealer or something like that.
Exactly. And that's kind of the beauty of Revii, is it's an open platform for that kind of thing.
Gotcha. Just general ideas around how, where this could be used and how it could be applied.
You think about a vehicle that's now, keyless, trackable, connected, smart, like all these new things. It's, we're constantly thinking of, like, what kind of business models does that unlock for, particularly for dealers. And, like, our goal is really to get more low speed vehicles, golf carts on the road, because they're awesome. Like, we all
Right.
love them. Like, it's the so a, a big thing that dealers want too is the ability to do long-term rentals to people. So we call it like vehicle as a service, where, again, say maybe it's like somebody that's in an area for a few months of the year, and they're looking for their own personal long-term rental, but the dealer kind of needs some assurance there that that the cart is tracked, and that everything's fine with the cart, just from from a liability perspective. So
Sure.
if you have the Joyride IoT on the cart, like, Revii supports long-term rentals, so you can run all your long-term rentals that way. You can be done in monthly payments, and then since the cart is connected, you kind of have that assurance that if needed, you can shut the cart off. You can track it if you need to get it, like, whatever it is. It just simplifies that process. And Revi's essentially the POS system for that too. It's like a self-service point of sale. So it's literally as easy as somebody coming by the dealership, picking out something they want, and having the app, picking the time they want to take it for, agreeing to the price, and then boom, it's theirs. Revii supports this scan to start, and kind of purely mobile phone enabled on off. But you can just as easily wire it so that the key still works as well. So you can
Okay.
have the rental enabled through Revii, and that kind of is allows the cart to be used, permissions the cart to be used, but the person's still using the key to turn it on and off. If that's
You don't always have to, yeah, I gotcha. So you don't always have to use the app to turn it off and on. You still have the key access, but it's being managed and run by the app.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. From an entrepreneurial perspective, even if I'm not a dealer, but I am thinking, hey, this might be just a business opportunity. I think there might be something there just as to create a rental system that that's purely maybe not 100%, but almost 100% humanless, right? Where it's just basically you set up. Let's pretend I buy 4 golf carts and I park them at the whatever parking lot. I know there's a lot of details related to the business aspect, but I mean it's potentially its own little business idea too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we love, this, hearing from kind of like what we call solopreneurs who are, kind of coming up with these creative new business models. So to give you a couple examples, small golf courses that are out there where they don't have carts offered. They don't want to kind of deal with it. They don't want to have like a starter that's managing that whole process. We have people that go in there and say, hey, like, let me bring in a small fleet for you, and it'll be self-service for the golfers that are there. Like, that's
Yep.
easy out of the box. I love the Airbnb thing. People partnering with resorts, because resorts, I mean, that's the quintessential amenity is to have golf carts there for
Sure.
guests to ride. But typically, the resorts don't want to manage that. So, people can step in and say, hey, I'll keep 4 of my golf carts here. So it enables people to kind of envision a world of being a kind of a hands-off operator without, the brick and mortar and the staff and the rent and all these kind of heavy expenses that are
Right.
associated with it.
Right.
And
Very cool.
there's insurance for those models now too, which, we're happy to walk through with our customers.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, Rob, tell me if somebody is interested, they've been watching this thing and they said, yeah, I want to look into this, dig a little bit deeper. What's the best way to find you? What's the next steps they should take?
The Joyride website, which is www.joyride.city, is a wealth of knowledge for all these kind of new opportunities. The Revii, there's a Revii website specifically where we've got kind of a great video on how this all works, showing some of the stuff we went through today. And then me personally, I'm available at rob@joyride.city is my email. And, send me an email. Would love to, kind of chat about your specific use case. And, I'd love to explore it with you. We work with huge rental operators that have thousands of carts that are, working at big events and horse shows and rodeos. And then we work with like individual folks that are, kind of your solopreneurs that are looking to just rent to their Airbnb guests. So
Gotcha.
We love it all.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I'll have those links in the description of this video as well, so we can make sure everybody has that. But Rob, thank you. Appreciate you taking the time. You've got a really cool product. And
but
awesome.
Matt, thanks so much for hosting me today.
Cool. Thanks, Rob. I don't know about you, but technology like that gets me revved up. That is just very cool and exciting kind of stuff. The potential from a dealer perspective, from an entrepreneur perspective, from a hotel and resort perspective, all that stuff. I mean, just the ability to do that when you see it on a small scale or smaller, like literally tiny, little scooters, but you think about that from a full-on electric vehicle, golf cart, LSV, in a bigger way, to be able to access things like that just right off the street. I think that's fantastic. So check out Revii by Joyride. I will put the information and details in the description. And as Rob said, feel free to reach out directly to him if you have questions and want to have a conversation about it. If you happen to be at the PGA show, 2025 PGA show, they will be there as well. So check them out in the Yamaha booth, he said. So thanks for joining us today. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and join us next Wednesday at noon. We always have a new episode. We'll see you then.